Hello again. Over the years that I've been doing Maze, I've noticed that the majority of people who come are white and British. We have sometimes had parents who've come along from Black, Asian, and minority ethnicities. Um, but I've always thought that I could have done more to support those people. Some people have stayed engaged for the whole of the maze, and some people just dip in and then I don't see them again. And that has always left me feeling like there's more I could be doing to support those families that I'm not aware of. So it was a dream come true when an email landed in my inbox from the lovely Jamel Alabayeva, who has set up her community interest company called Dream the Change, whose remit is precisely to provide support for families who have children with special educational needs who are from Black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds, to find clubs, activities and organisations for children and families to join in that are fully inclusive. So I asked Jamal to join me on Zoom for a recording to share with you all, to explore a little bit more about Dream the Change, her vision and aims for it, and also to think together about how we could collaborate to provide more support for families who are from Black, Asian and minority ethnicities to make a much more truly inclusive experience for people. Hi Jamal.
Hello.
Thanks so much for agreeing to speak to me today. For the benefit of those people watching this, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
My name is Jamel. I'm originally from Turkmenistan and I came to Colchester many years ago to study. I did my master's degree at the Essex University.
Wow, amazing. And you have set up this wonderful organisation called Dream the Change. Why did you do that?
So Dream the Change is a community interest company, and it was established to bridge the gap between families of national, linguistic, ethnic and cultural minorities with children with special educational needs and disability, and local service providers at present in Colchester area. So there are very few social and recreational opportunities for children with special needs in the local area out of school hours. And even though lots of services specify that they are inclusive of all children, in fact, they are not prepared to cater for all of their needs due to financial reasons or lack of trained staff. So this leads to parents being isolated at home and children missing out on vital experiences. The opportunity to play is really important for children with special educational needs because they need some extra support to enable them to get out there and play. Myself and other few parents, we met and discussed the existing gap and thought what we could do to offer more opportunities for children of such families. So by creating an inclusive environment for children of all abilities, we would like to ensure that the principles of inclusion is applied to all children, you know, of all abilities, all ethnic backgrounds, age as they should be.
Yeah, and so you've touched upon a topic dear to my heart there, the opportunities that are available for children with additional needs. I spoke to the people from the Essex Short Breaks for Disabled Children recently who have been doing some really great work at trying to improve some of those opportunities. But, you know, we all know how difficult it can be for our children to access those things. And of course, what you've also mentioned there is you've got children from different cultural backgrounds who may, they and their family may have different needs that the providers are unaware of. And I know from our previous conversation that this is also part of the reason for setting up Dream the Change, is to think about, you know, the needs of families and children who are from, you know, Black, Asian and minority ethnicity backgrounds.
Absolutely.
Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about what the aims are of Dream the Change and what kind of work you've been doing.
We plan to establish after-school clubs. These facilities will serve as an extracurricular center for children adapted to meet their generic needs, and also to serve as a respite center for their parents, carers and their families. Also, we would like to create an all-inclusive play area, a friendly play area and education center for children of all abilities, including children with special educational needs and disabilities, their parents, carers and families, carers and families. So to create more opportunities to meet new people, to make new friends and learn new social skills and play. And also we would like to as I mentioned already, bridge the gap between families of these minorities with children with special educational needs, and by identifying their specific difficulties, to tailor their individual needs with local service providers, locally, privately, and within the NHS. So this kind of our major project ideas. And also we would like to provide lots of information on our website and adapt it to these minorities so that they could just come and check, and so to avoid language barriers and culturally adapted information.
Yeah, that's something that I have felt very keenly over these last few years that I've been running Maze. You know, that I've noticed that the parents that come to Maze and you know, looking for help and support and advice, the majority of them are white population, and we do have families that have had different backgrounds that have come along over the years, and I've always been left feeling that I could have done more, or maybe that realizing, knowing, I could sense that they had a different set of needs and I just wasn't really aware of what they were and what I could do differently. So obviously, you know, hearing about your work was really exciting to me, because actually it would be really beneficial, I think, for so many families who step through the door at Maze, look around and see there's a majority of a white population here, for them to not feel uncomfortable about doing that, and to feel that they had support to come and engage, and to have somebody listen to them that could really understand from their perspective.
Absolutely.
I know many families as well have come from countries where there's a very different kind of perspective about children with additional needs, that maybe some of the families come along and they feel that from their home background it's something almost shameful to have a child with an additional need. And obviously that's something that's really hard for us to identify with. So, you know, I've noticed there are a number of differences, and of course that's not generic to all Black, Asian and minority ethnic families that come, because there are so many different needs, aren't there, within this vast population of varying ethnicities that there are.
Absolutely.
So I wondered if you could maybe say something about, in your experience, what kind of differences do you think the families, the need for support?
Evidence suggests that the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak has a greater impact on the BME families, Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities. So the results of the COVID-19 have been not only physical, but psychological, societal, and financial. And as I mentioned, as the evidence suggests now, in particular, that the impact was greater on BME communities. So I believe that children of these families face greater challenges. Some are going through bereavement and grief after suddenly losing their loved ones, or maybe their parents. Some are facing more hardships due to socioeconomic factors. Also, some of the children of BME backgrounds may not be receiving access to specialist resources or support due to various reasons. One of them, lower awareness of SEND, or lower awareness of parents' rights. Also, it could be linguistic barriers, and of course, cultural variation of social attitudes to disabilities. In some cultures, they tend to hide disability as something shameful, or some just believe that it's nothing serious. There's nothing wrong with a child. They don't consider mental health a health problem.
Yeah, I think that's so important what you've said there, that, you know, absolutely the differences, the disparity that exists in our society between the indigenous white populations and Black, Asian, minority ethnic groups has been really highlighted in a tragic way by COVID-19. And I think that's a really important point that you make there, about the differences. And one of the other things that it was just springing to mind for me as you were speaking is just reflecting back on my own experiences of working with some BME families over the years, is that the families that have stayed engaged and engaged well with me and with Mays have typically, and I know I'm generalising here, but have typically been from middle-class professional families in their home country, so have a higher level of education. And I have experienced that those are the families that have maybe been subjected to cultural, you know, discrimination or shame within their home countries, have moved away from that in order to try to find a better life and better chances, outcomes for their children, and therefore have this very clear idea about what they want, and they engage really well.
Absolutely.
On the flip side of that, what I found is that usually families who are from a lower socioeconomic backgrounds with lower levels of education are the ones who find that journey much harder to make. So for me, those are the families that are actually much harder to engage with. And I just wondered if that was something that you had also experienced.
Yes, I came across some families who are, I would say, from middle class, with good education, and they shared their experience that they wanted the best for their child, so they took their child to a doctor or pediatrician to get a diagnosis, and they wanted to follow that route, like considering the best interests of the child, but they shared that they knew some families who were hiding mental health issues of their children, and after this family came out, others could also, by their example, take their child to a doctor's appointment and go through the SEND process. So I think you're right in this, that the background of parents plays a big role in identifying the needs of their children and acting in the best interest of their children.
I think back to some of the families that have come through the door that I've worked with, and you mentioned our mental health, and I can clearly remember some examples of parents who've come through the door where English is not their first language. Maybe their English is something that they struggle to express themselves well in, but I can see that there's a lot of pain, distress around their child and how to meet their child's needs. Maybe their child is behaving in a way that they would like to change, or that's difficult or dangerous for them. But then on top of that, not only do they have the cultural differences, but there's this issue about, I can see that there's a problem around the mental health of one or more of the family members. And it feels so heartbreaking for me to be able to see those things and not really feel sure what it is that I can do to help, what kind of ways in which they need support. So obviously I was absolutely thrilled when you made contact with me. You know, and hopefully now, Jamel, we'll be able to work together to think about those families and put some kinds of supports in place.
Absolutely. I'll be happy to collaborate with your organization and set up some plans how we can intervene and help these families and reach out to these children.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah. I would love to do that so much. So if there are any families watching this now that want to learn a little bit more about Dream the Change and maybe want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for people to learn more and to contact you?
Right. We have a Facebook page, and on Facebook page people can find links to our website, and there is an email contact on our Facebook page, and you can contact us by that email, that's absolutely fine. There are also some additional contact details on our website.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I'll share all those links when with this video so that people know how to get in touch. And one other question actually that I've had that I haven't been able to ask you about is have you got some funding already to begin to undertake some of the plans that you've outlined for us?
Right. Before the outbreak, we applied for funds from Essex Active, and we got actually our application approved to run an after-school club with an element of Didi Dance. Didi Dance is a franchise run by a few people here in Colchester, and it's a brilliant franchise, and I was really looking forward to work with them, because the lady who was the tutor who was going to provide her services for us, she's a paradance tutor. The plan with the after school club couldn't go ahead in view of the COVID outbreak, so we will see when we get notified when we can proceed with our plan. And also we applied for a couple of COVID-19 emergency funds, so we are awaiting for replies.
Yeah, so you've got lots of work in the pipeline there. Now, I know Didi Dance really well. Charlotte, the lovely Charlotte, who has also been to May.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She's lovely. So that's really great. I love that when I have conversation with people and find out that somehow we're all connected. So that's a brilliant connection to make. So that's good. And good luck with the applications that you've got as well. And I know we'll stay in touch, Jamel. And I think we'll be connected for a long time now, which I'm super happy about. So
thank you very much.
I just wanted to say, really, really well done for, setting up Dream the Change, for the work that you're planning and the work that you're already doing. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much, Sue, and thank you for this opportunity today to share a little bit about our organization and what we do and what we are planning to do to help these families and children. And I'm really glad I came across your organization, and I'm looking forward for some future collaboration with yourselves and your community interest company. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for that, Jamel. And likewise, I'm super excited to have met you and that we're connected now, and to see what we can do, what we can achieve together. So thanks again for speaking to me today. It's been wonderful to speak to you as always.